Have you ever thought about what it truly takes to keep love and intimacy alive as we grow older? As the years pass, relationships naturally change, and while some may worry that aging means sacrificing connection, passion, and trust, the truth is that it doesn't have to. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the powerful ways mature couples, like Jane and John, can build even deeper emotional bonds, reignite the spark of intimacy, and navigate the unique challenges of aging together. You'll learn how small gestures, like a simple touch or a meaningful glance, can make all the difference to your partner, why trust and authenticity are more important than ever before, and how mutual respect and emotional freedom become the foundation of lasting love. Stay with us until the end, because we'll also explore some of the often overlooked keys to creating a relationship where both partners feel safe, valued, and truly free to be themselves. Whether you're in a long-term relationship, seeking to strengthen your own, or simply interested in the evolving dynamics of love, this video is packed with insights that could change the way you think about intimacy and connection at any age. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second, because the best ways to nurture love and respect as we grow older may surprise you. If you haven't already subscribed, I highly recommend doing so and turning on the notification bell, so you'll never miss a video. Your support means the world to me, and if you enjoy this video, please help spread the word by liking and sharing it with your friends and family. If this topic resonates with you, please comment 1 below. If not, feel free to comment 0, and let me know how I can improve and make better content for you. Alright, let's dive in. First truth: women, especially in their later years, value emotional depth above all else. As time passes, the way we view love and relationships transforms, particularly as we grow older. For women, especially those in the later years of life, the meaning of connection and affection changes drastically. In our younger years, society often places a heavy emphasis on outward displays of love, grand romantic gestures, expensive gifts, and a focus on physical attraction. We are conditioned to believe that love is all about how things look on the surface, about what others can see and admire. But as we enter the later chapters of our lives, a profound shift happens. The shallow, fleeting expressions of love become less important, and what truly matters becomes crystal clear: emotional depth. For women like Sarah, who is in her late 60s, emotional depth is no longer just a desire. It is the bedrock upon which any meaningful, lasting connection is built. Gone are the days of flashy romantic declarations and elaborate surprises. What women like Sarah yearn for now are those quiet, unspoken moments of genuine connection. The moments where someone truly listens, not just hears. When John, her partner, takes the time to listen intently to what she has to say, when he asks about her day and genuinely cares, it's those small, thoughtful acts that make her heart swell. These moments of attention, simple as they may seem, speak volumes more than any extravagant gesture ever could. They create a bond that is rooted in trust, understanding, and mutual respect. What Sarah needs most in her relationship is not a constant parade of words, though words of love are certainly important at times, but a profound, unshakable sense of being heard and understood. It's about a connection that goes beyond the superficial, a connection that is felt deep within. This bond doesn't hinge on grand romantic proclamations. It's about how John shows up for her day after day, in small, often unnoticed ways. When he listens without interrupting, when he offers support without being asked, Sarah feels an immeasurable love. She doesn't need to hear "I love you" constantly. What she needs is for John to show her that love in actions, in the quiet consistency of his care. But emotional depth alone isn't everything. As women age, there is another critical need that comes to the forefront: autonomy. After years of navigating life's ups and downs, women like Sarah have spent decades building their own identities, finding their own voices, and carving out lives that are uniquely their own. By the time they reach their later years, they cherish their independence more than ever. They do not want to be controlled or smothered. What they crave is respect for the lives they've built and the individuals they've become. Autonomy, in this stage of life, is not just a desire, it's a necessity. For those who love women like Sarah, understanding this autonomy is not just important, it is essential. There is an emotional maturity in recognizing that your partner's independence is a vital part of who they are. Supporting them doesn't mean imposing your will, but rather respecting their space, their choices, and their needs. It's about standing beside them without the need to change them. Small gestures, like a simple nod of approval, a heartfelt compliment, or the quiet sharing of a moment without needing to fill the space with words, carry far more weight than most people realize. These actions, often overlooked, say more than any gift or grand declaration could. They are an acknowledgement that you see your partner as they are now, not just as they once were. You see them as an individual with their desires, dreams, and goals, and you honor that. When both partners understand the importance of respecting each other's autonomy while nurturing emotional depth, the relationship flourishes naturally. For women like Sarah, these small acts of respect, these unspoken moments of affection, become the foundation upon which trust is built and love is nurtured. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up for each other in meaningful ways, even in the smallest actions. In the delicate balance of respect, emotional depth, and autonomy, love becomes something much deeper, something more lasting. And for women like Sarah, this is the kind of love they've always wanted, the kind of love that grows stronger with each passing year. Second truth. Women in this phase prioritize authenticity. As women like Sarah reach their later years, they find themselves looking back on a life rich with experience, both joyful and painful, that has deeply shaped their understanding of the world and their relationships. Over time, they have accumulated a treasure trove of lessons learned, moments of triumph and heartache, all of which have molded them into the wise, discerning individuals they are today. With this wisdom comes an undeniable clarity, a sharper, almost instinctive sense of when something doesn't feel right. After decades of navigating the complexities of relationships, whether they have been fulfilling or disappointing, women in this stage of life develop a finely honed radar for authenticity. They can immediately sense when someone is being insincere, when a person is trying too hard to impress with superficial gestures, or when emotions are exaggerated for effect. The pretenses and games that might have worked earlier in life simply do not resonate anymore. At this point, the need for deep, genuine connections far outweighs any desire for fleeting social performances. Women like Sarah have learned the hard way that true value lies in authenticity, and they have no time left for anything else. What truly matters now, for women like Sarah, is nothing short of honesty, sincerity, and realness. She craves connections that are raw, unfiltered, and grounded in truth. For Sarah, and many women at this stage, building a meaningful relationship is no longer about reciting perfect lines or playing the part. It's about showing up as your true self, where your thoughts, emotions, and actions all align in harmony. Authenticity, to her, is far more than just telling the truth. It is about living and acting in ways that are congruent with what is felt deep inside. This integrity, this consistency, is what forms the bedrock of trust, respect, and a bond that can withstand time's challenges. It's a profound realization that what people say is far less important than how they show up in the world. In her experience, sincerity is the bridge to something far more meaningful than superficial interactions. For Sarah, the things that matter most in any relationship are not grand gestures or extravagant promises. They are the quiet, consistent actions that demonstrate real care and genuine connection. It's not about showing up with flowers on her birthday or an expensive gift on an anniversary, though those things are lovely in their way. It's about being there in the small, seemingly insignificant moments when she needs support, comfort, or even just companionship. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The simple act of being present, without distraction or pretense, means everything. Sarah appreciates a partner who listens intently, who does not judge but instead engages with her in a manner that feels authentic, not rehearsed. It is the little things, the everyday moments, that truly matter, for they show her that someone values her for who she truly is, not for any role she is expected to play. Creating a safe, nurturing space where Sarah feels truly understood and appreciated is fundamental in this phase of life. In relationships that mirror Sarah's values, the foundation is not built on flashy expressions of love, but on the quiet, steady commitment to be there, consistently, patiently, and unconditionally. These are the moments that shape the deepest connections. Women like Sarah have lived through enough to know that words can be empty if not followed by sincere action. It is the integrity behind those actions, the genuine effort to be real, to be true, that speaks louder than anything else. It's what makes her feel truly seen, truly valued, and, ultimately, truly loved. In a world that can often seem overwhelming and uncertain, authenticity is the anchor she clings to, for it provides the only sense of certainty that is worth trusting. Third truth. For many women in their later years, emotional intimacy can be as important, or even more so, than physical intimacy. As women like Linda enter their later years, they often discover that their emotional needs, once perhaps secondary, now take center stage. This shift can be difficult for many men to understand, especially given the deeply ingrained cultural narrative that tends to prioritize physical affection and romantic gestures. We are so accustomed to thinking of intimacy in terms of physical touch, flowers, dinners, and moments of passion, that the idea of emotional intimacy as a primary need seems almost foreign to many. Yet, for women like Linda, the longing for a profound emotional connection only grows stronger with age. It evolves into something deeper, richer, and more meaningful, and it becomes the foundation of what truly nurtures the soul. For Linda, the idea that intimacy should only be about romance or displays of affection feels limiting. It's no longer about flowers, chocolates, or even passionate kisses. What she craves now is the kind of connection that goes beyond the surface, one that involves sharing her deepest fears, her hopes for the future, and her long-held dreams. It's about being seen in all her complexity, as an individual with a rich history and an evolving identity, not just as someone who is aging or settling down. She wants to feel that she matters, not just for who she used to be, but for who she is today. The truth is, this is a concept that's hard for many to grasp, especially in a society where the focus often shifts to physical decline in the later years of life. The media, societal expectations, and even personal insecurities all seem to tell us that physical intimacy should diminish with age. But women like Linda know better. While the body may slow down or change in ways that can't be ignored, the heart and mind remain as alive as ever. The need for connection, for a love that understands her soul and embraces her vulnerability, is perhaps stronger than ever. When Linda looks for intimacy, it's not just about filling a gap or passing the time. It's about seeking someone who truly values her, someone who understands that her emotional world is just as vibrant and full of life as it has ever been. She needs a partner who is willing to look beyond the wrinkles and gray hair, who can see her for the layers of wisdom, strength, and grace she's accumulated over the years. She wants to be cherished for who she is now, not as a shadow of her former self, but as a woman who is continuing to grow, evolve, and dream. But this longing often goes unmet, as the societal narrative around intimacy remains clouded by outdated beliefs. Many people, particularly those in long-term relationships, may assume that emotional intimacy has no place in later years, or worse, that it is unnecessary. They may fail to see that the deepest, most fulfilling connections are not founded on physical attraction alone, but on the way two hearts truly understand and nurture one another. It's in the shared moments of quiet, the soft words exchanged in the stillness of the night, the deep conversations that reveal hidden truths. It's the simple yet powerful gestures, a loving touch, a meaningful glance, that can forge a bond stronger than any fleeting physical moment. When this need for emotional intimacy goes unmet, women like Linda often feel invisible, undervalued, and unappreciated. They feel as though the essence of who they are, their spirit, their desires, and their dreams, has been forgotten or dismissed. It's not just about being there for them physically. It's about being there for them emotionally, meeting them where they are, and affirming that they are still beautiful, still powerful, and still worthy of love. When a partner can do this, to truly see her for who she is in the present moment, it brings about a transformation. A renewed sense of purpose and connection that can be just as fulfilling, if not more so, than any physical affection. The emotional intimacy that Linda seeks is about feeling valued and desired for who she is now, as a complete person with all of her experiences and her evolving needs. She wants to feel that her vulnerabilities are not just accepted, but embraced with love and understanding. When her partner acknowledges and nurtures this need, they are giving her more than just affection. They are giving her the gift of being fully seen and appreciated for who she is today, not just who she was in the past. There is something incredibly transformative about this kind of emotional connection. It transcends physical limitations, strengthens bonds, and deepens relationships in ways that physical intimacy alone cannot. For women like Linda, a partner who can meet her on this level creates a bond that becomes more than just a relationship. It becomes a profound, lasting connection that continues to grow and evolve with time. And in the end, it's this emotional intimacy that sustains love and keeps it alive, far beyond the fleeting nature of physical attraction. In my personal view, the wisdom and beauty that come with aging are not to be overlooked. Women like Linda deserve partners who are willing to embrace and cherish them, not just as they once were, but as they are now. It's not about turning back time or clinging to the past. It's about growing together, emotionally and spiritually, in a way that brings both partners closer to the heart of each other. This kind of intimacy is not just enriching. It is the very heart of a deep and enduring relationship, one that only grows stronger as time goes on. Fourth truth. Accepting that, in advanced age, a sexual relationship remains an important and meaningful part of life for many women, but it takes on new meanings and demands. As we navigate the later years of life, the role of intimacy, especially for women, does not simply fade into the background. It evolves, takes on new meanings, and carries with it profound emotional weight. For women like Carol, intimacy is not merely about physicality. It's about feeling seen, cherished, and connected. The assumption that aging automatically leads to a loss of desire or intimacy is not only misguided but deeply unfair to the many women who, as they grow older, still crave and need meaningful sexual connections. Many men underestimate how crucial this aspect of life remains. There's this unfortunate, almost dismissive belief that with age, the need for intimacy fades away, replaced by a more subdued, quieter connection. But for women like Carol, this couldn't be further from the truth. They seek a more profound, more respectful sexual bond, one that goes beyond the superficial and taps into the very heart of emotional and physical fulfillment. At this stage of life, it's not about quantity but quality. It's not about fleeting moments of passion, but about the deep, lingering connection that intimacy fosters between two people. For Carol and many other women, intimacy in later years is not defined by frequency or performance. Instead, it's a journey of connection, where every touch, every shared glance, and every moment together is an opportunity to reinforce the emotional ties that bind. In the later stages of life, intimacy is rooted in love and affection rather than physical prowess. It's the way two people come together, not just physically, but emotionally, creating an unspoken understanding that transcends words. Carol, like so many others, craves those moments of vulnerability and tenderness, where both partners can truly let their guards down, showing the depth of their feelings and desires without fear of judgment. It's often the small gestures before and after intimacy that carry the most weight. These are the things that matter: holding hands, gentle caresses, whispering words of reassurance and love. It's not about the act itself, but about creating a safe and sacred space where Carol feels secure, desired, and, above all, valued. This is about fostering an environment of trust, of deep emotional closeness that envelopes them. The words spoken before and after, the way a partner shows appreciation for her as a person, these are what truly nurtures the soul. These acts of kindness and tenderness speak volumes and create a lasting impact, far beyond the physical. As we grow older, the very nature of intimacy changes. It's not just about our bodies anymore. It's about our hearts and minds coming together in a harmonious union. The physical aspects of intimacy may evolve, but that doesn't mean the connection has to lessen or diminish. It simply requires an open heart, patience, understanding, and a willingness to adapt to new realities. Ignoring these changes leads only to frustration, alienation, and emotional distance. But embracing them, accepting the changes and adapting together, brings about an intimacy that is even more profound. It proves to both partners that their relationship remains a source of joy, connection, and fulfillment, no matter the passage of time. Women like Carol truly appreciate men who understand that intimacy, especially in later life, is far more than a mechanical act. It is a powerful way to reconnect, deepen their bond, and nurture a relationship that remains passionate, loving, and fulfilling. When a man views intimacy not as an obligation but as a means to grow closer, to nourish both the body and the soul, everything shifts. The act of sexual connection becomes a testament to mutual respect, love, and devotion. It becomes a spiritual and emotional journey that binds the couple even more tightly together, renewing their sense of purpose, connection, and shared joy, despite the passing of years. In the end, intimacy for women like Carol is not just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about feeling truly seen and understood. It's about cherishing each other, both in the small, everyday moments and the tender, intimate ones that allow love to flourish. The beauty of growing older together is that it allows us to discover new layers of connection, new ways of showing love, and a deeper understanding of what it means to truly be one with another person. Fifth truth. The way is to understand that mutual trust becomes the essential foundation for any intimate or emotional interaction at this stage of life. For women like Linda, trust is the very essence of everything. It is the unwavering pillar upon which they build their relationships, the sacred space where they feel safe, understood, and valued. Over the years, Linda has come to realize just how vital trust is. There's nothing more precious. When we are young, when our hearts are more malleable, betrayal, whether in the form of a lie, an infidelity, or a careless remark, can be brushed off, ignored, or even forgiven in the hope of moving forward. Yet, as the years pass, something shifts deeply within us. We start to see betrayal in a different light. For women like Linda, what once could have been overlooked now feels like a deep wound, one that doesn't just fade with time. It leaves a mark that becomes part of our story, an indelible scar on our soul. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As we grow older, our ability to tolerate disrespect diminishes. Linda has felt it, and she isn't alone. She's witnessed enough in her life to understand that the one thing that makes any relationship worth nurturing, whether it's love, friendship, or family, is trust. It is the bedrock of connection. She's learned that she will not, settle for anything less. At this stage of life, it's no longer about the grand gestures, the fleeting romantic displays, or the empty promises. What Linda seeks is far more profound. It's the unwavering certainty that the person standing beside her respects her, understands her, and most of all, can be trusted with her heart. This is where men like Mark often miss the mark. They mistake a quick apology, a bunch of flowers, or a grand romantic gesture as a way to erase the damage done by a betrayal. But to Linda and many women like her, betrayal isn't something that can be fixed with a few words or a surface-level fix. It's not just a disappointment. It's a profound emotional wound. A wound that is inflicted not just by one single betrayal, but by the cumulative weight of dishonesty over time. Each lie, each broken promise, each hidden truth adds another layer to that scar. And no matter how much time passes, it never fully fades. It's something that must be acknowledged, understood, and respected. Linda, having lived a full life, knows the signs. She knows the patterns, the subtle shifts in behavior, the slight evasions that betray an underlying dishonesty. Her heart is finely attuned to these nuances. When something doesn't feel right, she feels it instantly. It's a gut instinct that cannot be ignored. She's lived long enough to know when words don't match actions and when intentions are not aligned with reality. And once trust has been broken, it's not easy to rebuild. It's not just about giving it time. It's about the emotional labor, the vulnerability, and the transparency required to restore what was once lost. For Linda, Regaining trust is no small feat. It requires more than just heartfelt apologies. It demands raw transparency, a willingness to lay bare one's intentions and actions. She needs to see, not just hear, that trust is being rebuilt. Actions must align with words. Promises must be kept, not just made. Every effort must be made to restore the faith that was lost, and this takes time, consistency, and above all, unwavering commitment. For Linda, intimacy at this stage of life is entirely tied to trust. Without it, there can be no real emotional connection, no real depth to the relationship. Loyalty and honesty are paramount for women like Linda, but they go beyond avoiding obvious betrayals. They are about honoring emotional commitments, being there when it counts, offering comfort in times of need, and being a steady presence. Linda doesn't expect perfection. What she craves, what she values, is authenticity. The ability to be consistently reliable, kind, and compassionate. It's the little things, the steady, unwavering support in everyday moments, that form the foundation of trust and intimacy. When Mark, and men like him, show up in ways that reaffirm trust, they build a space where love can thrive. They may not be perfect, but their commitment to acting with integrity and respect allows the relationship to grow stronger. In the face of life's inevitable changes and challenges, trust becomes the one constant that holds them together. It's what sustains them, even when everything else seems to shift and fade. In this stage of life, where time feels fragile and fleeting, trust becomes the unshakable foundation that holds up every intimate conversation, every shared memory, every quiet moment of connection. It is the bedrock upon which all relationships must be built, and for women like Linda, it is non-negotiable. Without it, there is nothing. Sixth truth. The way is to recognize that emotional freedom is essential for women in advanced age. For women like Sarah, emotional freedom is no longer just a luxury. It is an absolute necessity, a lifeline to the fullness of life she has fought so hard to create. After decades of devotion to family, career, and countless other responsibilities, Sarah has reached a place where she cherishes her right to be herself. In the quiet moments of her life, she finds solace in her passions, her friendships, and the personal interests that have bloomed from years of self-discovery and growth. These aren't just activities to fill time, they are the soul of her existence, the parts of her that have sustained her through hardship and triumph alike. At this stage of life, after so much sacrifice, she has learned that the greatest gift she can give herself, and deserves more than anything, is the freedom to live without judgment, without interference, and without the constant need to justify her every choice. Sadly, not all relationships understand this truth, especially when men like Tom bring outdated, often unconscious beliefs about what it means to care for a partner. So often, men in Sarah's life still hold on to the belief that love equals control, that to truly love someone means taking charge, steering the course of the relationship as though it's a ship to be directed. They may offer unsolicited advice or make decisions on Sarah's behalf with the thought that they know better, that their way is the only way. The intent may be caring, but the effect is stifling. It's as though she's walking around in an invisible cage, and no matter how open or kind Tom's gestures may seem, the air grows thick with the suffocating weight of not being allowed to make decisions for herself. Even the most well-meaning actions become chains. For women like Sarah, this is simply not acceptable anymore. She doesn't want to be dominated or controlled. Not now, not ever. What she wants is a partnership, an equal exchange, a relationship rooted in mutual respect where both partners understand each other's needs. Sarah has spent a lifetime carving out her identity, learning, growing, falling, getting back up, and, most importantly, learning what truly makes her happy. She is not the same person she was in her younger years, and she certainly doesn't want to be treated as if she is. She wants Tom to see that she has earned this space for herself and that her decisions, her choices, and her desires are hers and hers alone. She doesn't need his permission. She needs his support. And that support doesn't come from stepping in and taking over. It comes from a deep trust that she knows what's best for herself. This is where so many relationships begin to fray as time goes on, especially for couples as they grow older together. For Sarah, emotional freedom isn't just a nice to have, it's a must. It means being able to continue nurturing her hobbies and friendships without constantly being second-guessed or told what to do. It means Tom standing beside her, not as a supervisor, but as a true partner, trusting her judgment and believing in her choices, no matter how small or large. Whether it's deciding how to spend her free time or making major life decisions, Sarah wants the freedom to navigate life on her own without interference. She wants to feel valued for the woman she has become, not the woman Tom might want her to be. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. At this stage in life, women like Sarah know the importance of autonomy better than anyone. They've seen what happens when you lose yourself in the role society asks you to play, or when you sacrifice your dreams for the sake of others. But those days are behind them. Sarah, like many women, has spent too much of her life putting the needs of others before her own. Now, she is determined not to relinquish the hard-won freedom she has earned. When Tom tries to control her, even in subtle ways, it cuts her deeply, causing a slow erosion of trust and love between them. The more he pushes for dominance, the further she pulls away, not because she doesn't love him, but because deep down she knows that love cannot thrive in an environment of control. For Sarah, a love that smothers is not love at all. Emotional freedom in a relationship doesn't mean emotional neglect or indifference. It's the opposite. It's about creating an atmosphere where both partners feel safe enough to be vulnerable, to be themselves. For Sarah, being emotionally free means being able to live her life authentically, knowing that Tom not only respects her independence but celebrates it. She doesn't need his permission to be who she is, and she doesn't want to feel as though her choices are under constant scrutiny. She wants to feel supported, not controlled. For men like Tom, the challenge is understanding that offering Sarah the freedom to be herself doesn't mean neglecting their connection. It means strengthening it. When he gives her the space to flourish as an individual, he is, in turn, allowing her to love him more deeply, with greater respect and admiration. She feels cherished, not because he's telling her what to do, but because he sees her, trusts her, and believes in her completely. It is in this mutual respect that love truly thrives. In relationships where emotional freedom is nurtured, love doesn't just survive, it flourishes. Sarah feels seen, not as a subordinate partner but as an equal, her needs, dreams, and voice heard and valued. In understanding the profound necessity of emotional freedom, Tom helps create a dynamic where both partners are empowered to pursue their passions, dreams, and goals, and to walk beside each other on a path that is truly shared. By embracing this freedom, they can build a relationship that is not only authentic but also resilient, one where both Sarah and Tom grow individually and together, fully experiencing the joy of being loved for who they are in their truest forms. As we reflect on the importance of emotional freedom in relationships, especially for women in their later years, I hope you've gained some valuable insights today. We've explored how true love is built on mutual respect, trust, and the space to be ourselves, without judgment or control. So, what have you learned so far? What resonated with you the most? And what will you start practicing in your own life to nurture healthier, more equal partnerships? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one key takeaway in the comments below and let us know how you plan to incorporate this into your relationships. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.